Most small business owners don't think they have the problem of marketing to multiple customer personas. But the reality is, most of you do. And if that just made you squirm a little, good. This video is for you. Now, I get why a lot of folks think that they just have one customer persona that they need to worry about. I mean, marketing would be so much easier if that were the case. But what you're really dealing with is the reality that each of your main products and services solves a different problem. And that means you have different customer personas that you need to market to. Hi, my name is Taylor, and I'm one of the founders here at NG. And in this video, I am going to share my top tips for helping you market to multiple customer personas. Whether this was something you were already struggling with, or I just made you aware of the challenge. Now, there are a few basics that I'm not going to cover in this video, but would be good for you to know. So if you don't know things like what customer personas are, why they matter, or how to figure out what your key customer personas are, then definitely give the blog link that I have in the video description a click so that you can learn more. Okay, so the main challenge of needing to market to multiple customer personas is the fact that each one has a different problem that they're trying to solve and needs to hear different things in order to be ready to buy from or book you. And when you already feel like coming up with just something to say with your marketing is hard enough, then thinking that you need to try to come up with different things to say and different ways to say them can make you just want to stick your head in the sand. But if you want to make sure that you are doing what you need to maximize your sales, you've got to figure this out for yourself. And here is what we're going to talk through today, because this is what I want you to do. The first thing is I want you to think about the what you need to say part, which is really just your messaging for each customer persona you've got. Then you need to figure out which marketing channels make the most sense for each one of your customer personas so that you can make sure that you are showing up where they are. And lastly, you need to pick a favorite. Maybe not a favorite, but you need to decide on a priority. And I am going to give you my best piece of advice when we talk about that. So let's talk about the what you need to say part. And there are different things that I want you to sit down, think about, and document for each one of your customer personas. Now, I'm going to run through a list of things, but I want you to not think that this list of things means you need to write a novel for every question that I'm going to pose to you. Keep it simple, right? Keep it succinct. Even if it's bullet points and incomplete sentences, it's just important for you to think about what these things are and get them down on paper. Okay, so the first thing that you need to think about is what is your key value proposition? So in one sentence, what is the main value that you are providing to this customer persona, right? If you only had 10 seconds to say something to them, or even fewer, what is it that you would say to cut to the chase, right? Okay, the next thing that I want you to think about are the pain points of the problem that you're solving. So think of it this way. What is really annoying or challenging to your customer personas, and how are you helping them get rid of those annoyances or challenges? Then what I want you to do is start to list out your primary talking points. So what are some of the emotional benefits of your product or service that you can weave into sales calls and marketing materials? And a major bonus, extra credit, A+ student points here. If you think about your talking points in relationship to your customer persona's buyer persona. And if you don't know what that is, you can go look up the DISC assessment or pick up the book Surrounded by Idiots, because those are both good resources to help you think this through. Next up is your tone and style. How are you going to sound when you're delivering all of these marketing messages to them? Now, you've got your overall brand voice that's like your brand's personality, but sometimes you need to read the room a little bit and say something just a little bit differently for each one of your personas. So if there's something that's different for any of them, maybe one is more formal or more casual than the other, then make sure that you document those things as well. And second to last is, what are the features and the benefits of what you're offering? Now, a lot of folks just get super laser focused on talking about the features. I mean, I call this buy my shit mode, where you're like, these are the things that you get, and you just list things out. But really, what people want to know is, what are the benefits of those features? So for each one of your main products and services, and really by your customer persona, right? Like, what's the product or service that they are going to hone in on? What are the features? Like, what do they get with the product or service? And what are the benefits that align with each one of those features? And lastly, you want to be able to clearly differentiate yourself, right? I mean, this is where we don't want to feel like we are screaming into the void. So what makes you stand out from the competition, from the other options that this customer persona might be considering? Okay, so you're going to sit down and you're going to spend 15 minutes thinking about those things. And after you do that, I want you to move into figuring out, where are you going to market to these customer personas? So this is the marketing channels part of the equation. And this is very much tied to the reason why you will always hear me talk about the importance of tracking your KPIs, because tracking your KPIs helps us understand where people are finding us. And NG makes it super easy for you to do that. So if you haven't yet, definitely go start a free 14-day trial so that you can start doing this for yourself and gathering that data. But this is why knowing your customer's age and whether or not they are a B2B, which is business to business, or B2C, which is business to customer or client, is important, because different marketing channels make sense for different combinations of these things. Because some marketing channels are more effective, and sometimes we really just need to think of that as are not going to be ignored or shut out quite as much by certain personas. And a great example is, if your customer persona is a B2B millennial client, then they are probably on LinkedIn, Instagram, and on your email list. So those would be great marketing channels for you to use to reach them. On the opposite side of the spectrum, if your ideal customer persona is a Gen Z B2C customer, they're pretty much probably using TikTok for everything, and you're not going to find them on LinkedIn, right? So those are some of the things that you need to think about in order to take your messaging and put it in the right place. And lastly, you also need to think about, okay, what is it that I need to know about each one of my personas that is going to help me focus my time and energy? Because I can't be everything to everyone, everywhere, all at once. And if you're trying to be that, that is exactly why marketing to multiple personas has been really stressing you out. So my advice to figuring out who is going to be your favorite customer persona, or the one you are going to focus on the most, is I want you to ask yourself, who is the easiest customer persona for me to win business from, right? And bonus points if it's also a customer persona that tends to buy a more expensive product or service. Because when you want to make more but work less, this is the sweet spot of where you should be focusing your energy. So I hope that all this helps you start to create your plan to market to multiple customer personas. And if you're looking for a really easy way to create your marketing strategy, organize your persona information, and your marketing to-dos, then NG is just the thing to help. Head over to ng.co to start your free 14-day trial and dive in. It only takes 5 minutes for you to create your marketing strategy, and we are always here to answer questions.